As many have predicted, San Francisco decided to go heavy on edge during this free agency period. First, they brought in veteran Leonard Floyd on a 2-year contract worth $20 million, and this was their pass rush specialist. He got 10.5 sacks last year, but they didn't stop there. They also wanted to add more run support on their edge because San Francisco relies on waves of defenders coming in and out. So they decided to add gross-matos from the Panthers. But unlike Floyd, gross-matos is entering the prime of his career, and up to this point with the Panthers, he's basically been misutilized. He's also 6'5" and weighing 265 pounds. He offers prototypical size, strength, and depth at the position for San Francisco. So in this video, I want to look at gross-matos' 2-year deal with San Francisco worth $18 million and how he's going to impact San Francisco going forward by looking at his career up to this point and then what he can offer San Francisco going forward. Initially, I want to focus on how the Panthers, I believe, misutilized gross-matos early on in his career. He was playing a 3 tech when I believe he's best suited to play a true 5 or 7 tech. And then you could occasionally slide him interior to 3 tech when you want to run some NASCAR packages. That's fine, but I don't think he should be in a 3 tech every single time, which I believe hindered his effectiveness as a pass rusher, leading to lower sack totals. When you also consider the way gross-matos played on the edge, he played much more effectively than his first couple of years in the league. To really highlight my point, I want to dive a little bit deeper into the most recent year for gross-matos and what he offers San Francisco. While everyone probably thinks I'm just going to jump into sacks, that's not what's going to happen. Gross-matos to me is the perfect run defender for San Francisco, and he's only ascending. Take this play for instance, where he's able to set the edge. He gets a full lock on 70 with one arm and then swims back inside to make the tackle on number 7. As we look forward in this Falcons game, 97 does a great job at squeezing his gap and then shooting his tackle on the running back. So while San Francisco would love to see gross-matos develop into a prolific pass rusher, they're happy if he just is like this in run support coming over to San Francisco. On this play for instance, I believe gross-matos shows off a great blend of athleticism and awareness. So while he might not have the most tools as a pass rusher, I believe San Francisco is looking at this as a pickup like Clelin Ferrell last year. He doesn't necessarily need to get 20 sacks this year, but if he's able to set a strong edge, then they'll be able to rotate in their other pass rush specialists like Robert Beal Jr., Leonard Floyd, and Drake Jackson. Gross-matos also has a great ability to make open field tackles and use his length to his advantage. On this play for instance, he blows up the running back in the open field. Perhaps one of the more impressive plays for me from 97's film though was this one where he's able to somehow fight off this tackle and then bring down the wide receiver in open space. Gross-matos also shows off extremely high awareness here on this play for instance, where he's able to read the quarterback and then finally squeezes inside to tackle the running back. And on these read options, I thought he did a great job of setting the edge as well. Here you can see how he reads the quarterback, and then once he does determine he hands off, he then tackles the running back. And while currently I believe he's stronger in his run game than against the past, I believe Chris Kasarik as well as Nick Bosa and these other defensive linemen could really help him unlock his true potential because he has the size, the first step, he has pretty good hand usage, and if he's able to tie it all together, he could really wreak havoc on this league. Initially for San Francisco, I believe he's best used on first and second down on the edge, and then maybe on third down, you could slide him in to a NASCAR role like this, and you can see how he can affect the play even if he doesn't get the sack. When you're watching the film, you can also see how he can definitely continue to develop. Like on this play, you can really notice the bend he can get before really crushing Geno Smith. On this play, gross-matos shows off how effective he can be with proper hand utilization. On this swim, for instance, you can see how he does a good job punching and then swimming before hitting number 4. As I highlighted earlier, gross-matos is extremely strong in the zone run game, and I don't know why Beathard thought he could outrun him, but he definitely couldn't. There were some sacks though that were just kind of cleanups, nothing too special like this one. Outside of this last year, he did play a lot of 3 technique, but he did get to the quarterback even in these situations, which is encouraging if San Francisco is looking to slide him in to like a Charles Omenihu type role. But to really understand the player gross-matos is, I'm going to dive into his career up to this point to really grasp the whole entire player San Francisco is getting. But before speaking about football, we need to speak about how tragedy influenced his early years. Michael Gross, his dad, died in a boating accident when he drowned trying to save Uter. When Gross-Matos hit the age of 10, his older brother died by being struck by lightning. Despite going through these challenges, Uter Gross-Matos was able to rise to become one of the most prolific edge players in his entire class, and he was ranked as a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. He had offers from Alabama, Clemson, and Penn State. And after setting a career high of 37 sacks in high school, he decided to commit to Penn State. As a freshman in 2017, he played in all 13 games, had 17 tackles, and 1.5 sacks. As a sophomore in 2018, he started in all 13 games, had 54 tackles, 8 sacks. He also had a whopping 20 tackles for loss and 1 pass defended. In 2019, he played in 12 games, had 40 tackles, 9.5 sacks, and 15 tackles for loss and 1 pass defended. After the season, Gross-Matos decided to commit to the 2020 NFL Draft, and he came in at 6'5", weighing 266 pounds. Scouts loved how he offered prototypical size and athleticism. In addition to that, he set the edge extremely strong, like he's carried over to the pros. Scouts also noticed when Gross-Matos was able to put everything together, he proved to be deadly as a pass rusher, meaning if a team was able to unlock his full potential, he could do a lot more than just stop the run, but be a 3-down starter. The biggest concern it seemed like for most scouts was how inconsistent Gross-Matos could be at times. You would see him blow up a play, but the very next one, you wouldn't see a very solid first step and his hands wouldn't be all there. He basically needed a coach that would be willing to refine him as a pro. And with the Panthers being intrigued with this option, they decided to pick him up in the 2nd round with pick 6. Across his time with the Panthers, from 2020 to 2023, he played in 55 games, had 130 tackles, and 13 sacks. When you did see Gross-Matos move back to his more natural position, you did see his sack number increase. Last year in 2023, he had the most yet with 4.5. His biggest value for me though has to be how strong he is in the run game. He sets the edge like one of the better defensive ends I think San Francisco could have picked up. And when you look at the system he's entering, it's going to fit his athleticism and skill set perfectly. In addition to that, he's going to be working with one of the better defensive line coaches across the entire league in Chris Kasarik. He's worked magic on guys like Charles Omenihu or Arden Key, who have similar body types as Gross-Matos. When you also look at who's playing alongside Gross-Matos, he should be receiving plenty of one-on-one opportunities with Bosa playing opposite. But when I'm looking at this signing, I think San Francisco did a great job of re-upping on their defensive line depth, specifically in the run support, and you have a high upside player who could continue to develop under the tutelage of Chris Kasarik. But ultimately, these are just my thoughts of the signing of Gross-Matos, and I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you liked and subscribed, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.